We're going to learn what to do to make ourselves look great on video, starting right now. As a professor, a student, an employer, or an employee, we all need to learn the important skill of making a great video and looking great on video as well. Now, this isn't about being beautiful, although I think we're all beautiful in our own special way. This is about being as professional as possible, as looking as professional as possible in order to make the best impactful, the best experience possible with the video itself. So we're going to cover three really important aspects of making a great video. The first one is going to be audio. We'll discuss different things associated with capturing the best audio, as well as lighting, the importance of lighting to make the best visual, as well as framing. So in there, it's going to involve several different aspects, and we'll throw in some bonus material dealing with framing in order to really capture the best essence of making ourselves look professional, looking great within our video. So the first part is dealing with audio. Now, to have the very best audio possible, there are several different things that you can do. To begin with, you really need to think about the environment that you're recording in. So this means to have all the kids put away or the pets put away, other people, so that they're not distracting you and they're not making noise that would come off within the video. Additionally, other things that can cause noises are a refrigerator, air conditioning, a TV, a cell phone. So make sure those things are off, or at least in another room, so that you can concentrate on just the audio that you're trying to capture. Other things such as noises from outside can be reduced by closing that window so that cars driving by or car horns or just people walking by or playing outside doesn't come off into your video, your presentation. So we want to minimize all those distractions. Another important way to really capture the best type of audio is by using an external microphone. Now, there's some very expensive external microphones, as well as some simple external microphones that you can get. Simply getting a simple lapel mic like the one I'm wearing, either a USB or audio in type of microphone, will greatly enhance the overall quality of the audio. Listen to this audio comparing what I sound like now using an actual external microphone, a simple lapel mic, or this is what it is without an external mic.
What it sounds like without a microphone.
Definitely a huge difference there. The other important aspect is dealing with lighting. Lighting is very powerful in that it really changes the way that we look. So I always recommend that you have at least 2 light sources on you in order to gain the most professional way as far as how you appear on the video. So you can have 2 lamps, or you can have 1 lamp and a window. A window is very powerful in that it can give you good sunlight that comes in and really makes it sort of fill in all the different parts to make you look as good as possible. So there's different ways to do this. When you have a nice window that you can sit by, so here's my situation. Here's what I look like. So here's my setup. I simply have 1 lamp set up right here. There's my camera, which is going to be my laptop. And then here's the window. So the window casts light that way, and then this lamp casts light that way. So here this works well in that I have 1 window that's right here where I'm getting in some good light, as well as I have a lamp over here, so I'm getting light that way. So now I'm getting some good distribution of light on both sides of my face, as well as filling in the top and the bottom here, so that you can really see my face and you can see all the different mannerisms that I'm doing when I'm talking and expressing myself to you. So you definitely want to maximize that. But if you are going to use the window, the lighting source, you always want to have that be in front of you, never behind you. Because if you put it behind you, then you'll look like this. So here I am with the window behind me. Notice the difference as far as the lighting is concerned, right? You don't want to be just a silhouette. That you definitely don't want that, because then you're just a silhouette and it's hard for your audience, because remember, you're always thinking about what is your audience seeing. It'll be that much harder for your audience to really see your facial expressions and all those. So you want to make sure that you have good lighting both on one side and on the other side to really capture that best image possible to make you look as professional as possible as well. So for the final aspect here of making the great video and making yourself look great on video is the whole aspect of framing. So framing is actually quite a simple thing, but I'm going to put a lot of different components on it so that we get the most amount of bang for our buck. So to begin with, framing is simply how you're framing the video. So you see in this video, I have a little bit of space here and a little bit of space here. So a little bit of headroom and then a little bit below here. So I'm actually filming from a little bit above the chest up. The reason for that is so that if I do have to talk with my hands, then you can see my hands. But generally, it's just focused on me. So, you know, you see a lot of my face, my facial expressions. This is a good, solid expressions, good, solid way that we're framing up the picture here. Now, notice the difference that comes up when I have my face and the framing in different ways. So sometimes I see framing like this, where it's really low. So you see how it's basically just kind of a floating head. This doesn't come across well because, again, it's not framed quite right and it just seems more amateurish. So you want to avoid this. Another one that you want to avoid is this. This often happens when somebody's using two screens because they have sort of their camera set up on this screen and then they're looking at this screen. This you want to avoid because it's very distant. It comes across as very distant. You know, I'm not looking at you. I'm not in the same frame orientation. So you generally want to avoid this one as well. So for this next one here, I decided to record it with my with just a simple cell phone here. In that I've seen this happen a lot of times is that people are trying to do their video, let's say through a Zoom session, and they have their cell phone and they simply put their cell phone on a table, right? The problem with this is the angle, the framing that occurs with this is very harsh in that we're simply looking up your nose and that doesn't look great. So what we want to do instead with all of these is, again, change the framing, like we said, so that it's up, up, just like this. And here, so you see how this correlates much better with that. Now I'm at eye level. I'm looking directly at you. So the way that we can accomplish this is by setting up either our cell phone, our camera, our, you know, in my case, I'm using mainly my laptop video camera so that I'm right at eye level. So you might have to stack some books or put some things underneath your actual laptop so that it's up to eye level as far as where the camera's at. Now on my laptop, it's a little bit different in that the actual webcam is at the bottom of the screen. Many times it's at the top of the screen. So then you have to adjust for that because, again, we want it to be basically at eye level so that we come across that much better. We're looking directly at the camera. That's the other big thing that comes with framing as well. It's not just about having the proper headroom. It's also about how you are coming across, right? And one of the big things is dealing with understanding that the visuals is part of the communication, right? It's not just verbal communication, it's also the nonverbal communication. So that includes all the visuals. So that includes things like eye contact. You really want to make sure that you have good eye contact with the camera. It's kind of a funny thing in that, you know, it's not eye contact with someone else's eyes because this is a virtual environment, right? We're recording, we're online. So you have to have eye contact with the camera. Now there's different ways to doing this. For mine, I have a tiny little light. So that's what I'm looking at. It's right by the camera. But what you might want to do is put either maybe some, you know, a little picture there, a little photo of someone or some squiggly eyes right there, right at the camera so that you can concentrate and look at the camera because it has such a powerful effect in the way that you come across. You come across as much more professional by having that eye contact. Notice the difference. Feel the sort of the psychological, emotional difference that goes along when I don't look at the camera. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm actually looking at the screen. So I'm looking at the screen and I'm talking, I'm giving you information, but it comes across completely different, doesn't it? Because there's this additional distance that occurs. I'm no longer looking at you. Instead, I'm looking sort of past you, beyond you. I'm not as intimately connected with you. Why? Because we don't have that eye contact anymore. But notice how everything changes and it's back to being much more connected because I'm looking at the camera. Now I'm connected with you. And this also increases the confidence level and the trustworthiness of the individual talking because I'm looking at you, that eye contact. So that makes a big difference. So you definitely want to take that into account, eye contact. Along with that is another powerful thing, continuing on with the visuals, make sure that you are aware and thinking about what it is that you're wearing, because you're sending a signal. Whether you want to or not, you're sending a signal. Now, of course, I'm trying to look as professional as possible. That's why I am wearing a suit, right? And I'm wearing a tie. So that's sending a signal of professionality, at least on some level, right? The key thing there is understand your audience, and understand the message that you're trying to give, and make sure that you're dressed appropriately, because know that you're always sending a signal with every single visual that you're expressing, right? Along with that is also the background. Now, in my case, I have a very simple plain background because I just want all the focus to be on me and the message that I'm giving. But definitely be cognizant of your background. Make sure it's not messy, because that's sending a signal. Make sure there isn't anything that's distracting back there. Make sure it's sending the signal that you want to send. So that's the key part of this, is making sure that you're sending the signals, you're sending the visuals, you're sending the message that you want to send, because it all ties together. And it's all part of making that great video, and also making yourself look great on video. Okay, so we covered several different things. Make sure that you understand, when you want to make a great video, when you want to come across great, you need to make sure that you have that great audio. You want to make sure that you have the great lighting, having at least 2 sources of good lighting. And you also want to make sure that you properly frame things up. Remember, you want to make it nice and stable. If you have a tripod, that's great. If not, just use those books. And then also think about all the other visuals, because it's not just about what you're saying, it's also about the visuals that are coming across, because that's sending a message too. Now, the final bonus item that I wanted to be sure to cover is, if you want to make yourself more approachable, if you want to make yourself more connected, is the smile, okay? Don't forget to smile. I know it's harder for some people than others, but that really makes a big impact, is simply to smile. And when you smile, you want to make sure that it's authentic. The only way to do that is by feeling it within your heart. I know it sounds a little huggy, right? A little emotional, but that's what it is have this feeling within you. I appreciate you as the audience. I appreciate you watching this video. So it comes across as easy for me to smile and to be thankful for you by giving me your time to listen and hopefully learn something from this video. So thank you very much for your time. And remember, learning is for life.